Hello, today we are doing day 7 for daily math, so go ahead and take a look at it. This first one says find the volume of the rectangular prism. So it's got a nice tip here. It says volume is the number of cubic units or cubes that will fit in a space, or fill a space, excuse me. So looking over here, we have part of the rectangular prism filled up, but not the whole thing. Some of you might also know that there's a formula for volume. That formula is going to be length times width times height, okay? So in this case, if we're looking at our diagram here, we've got length as one of our first ones, right? So this here, the width, how wide it is, this here, how long it is, and this here, how tall it is, right? So our length right here would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got 3 cubes there. Okay, up next, we're looking at our width, how wide something is. So our width would be right here, which would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so our width is going to be 4. And I'm going to put my 3 here for the length. And lastly, we're going to be looking over here at our height, right? How tall. So our height would be right here from here to here, right? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So our height is going to be 4. So then it's actually a pretty simple problem, right? We're just doing 3 times 4 times 4. Well, I know 3 times 4 is 12. And 12 times 4 is going to give me 48. So for this problem here, we would say our answer is that we would have 48 cubic units. Because these here are made out of cubes, right? You can also do this problem a different way, where you could kind of visualize how many cubes are going to be filling this up. Now, that is a bit harder, right? Because you'd kind of have to go like, okay, well, the bottom is 1, 2, 3, and right, and kind of count it and visualize it, and you're more likely to make a mistake that way. So I would, when I'm finding the volume for a shape, I would use the formula length times width times height. All right, next question. Hector bought a fishing rod for $45.99. He had to pay a 6% sales tax on the price of the rod. How much will the sales tax be? Round to the nearest cent. Now, for me, someone growing up in California, I am pretty familiar with sales tax, right? Because I have to pay sales tax on almost everything I buy. But in Oregon, we don't pay as much sales tax. So a time in which you might pay sales tax in Oregon is if you are maybe out to dinner at a restaurant somewhere. Kind of a funny example of something that I did is I actually bought my car in Oregon because I wouldn't have to pay sales tax on it, and that's a really big purchase. So sales tax does matter quite a bit in regular life, because maybe you're looking at the price tag for something, like say there's a sweatshirt that's $20 that you want, but then when you actually take it to the register and you have to include the sales tax, maybe now it's $25 or $26. So thankful to be living in Oregon, where our sales tax is not so bad. But for this problem here, we know that the fishing rod is $45.99, right? And he has a 6% sales tax that he's dealing with. Okay, so we want to find 6% of, and I'm saying it that way for a reason, we want to find 6% of $45.99. When we hear of, we know that of means multiply, right? So looking at this, if it's a 6% sales tax, how do we change percent into a decimal so that we can multiply it? Well, percents are always out of 100, right? So if this is 6%, we would say that this is 6%, this is 6 out of 100, or this is 0 and 6 hundredths. Now be careful, you want it in the hundredths place, not the tenths place, okay? If you write 0.6, then you're telling me 6 tenths, okay, which is really different than what we're doing here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and multiply by 0 and 6/100ths. Just like that, okay? So our first step is we're going to do 6 times 9, which is 54. 4 carry that 5. 6 times 9 again is also 54, but now we add on the 5 and we get 59. 9 carry the 5. 6 times 5 is 30, plus that 5 is 35. 5 carry the 3. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 25, 26, 27. Okay, so now looking at this, I notice that I have zeros in the other places. So I could go through here and say 0 times 9 is 0, 0 times 9 is 0, 0 times 5, but I don't really have to because I know I'm just going to get a bunch of zeros down here, and when I add that together, adding 0 to something doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take a look at the original problem so that I know where to place my decimal. In the original problem, there are 4 digits that are to the right of the decimals, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and place my decimal right here. Okay, so now looking at this, it says how much will the sales tax be round to the nearest cent? Well, 2.7594, that doesn't work well for dealing with money, right? So we're going to come over here and we're going to see, okay, there's a 9 right here. So this 9 will make this 5 round up to a 6. So our final answer is the sales tax is going to cost $2.76. So our final answer here is that it's going to cost $2.76 because this 9 made us round up here. All right, last one. On the number line graph the inequality, x is less than or equal to 0. Okay, so we're starting at the 0. We're going to come over to the 0. Now, remember, if there is a greater than sign underneath our symbol, we are going to fill in our circle. Right? Then the arrow, the less than sign, shows us which way the arrow is going to be going, right? So we go ahead, we draw our arrow, and we are all done. All right, that's it for daily math today. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Please send me a picture of your work. Love and miss you all. All right, bye.